Good day, viewers. You are welcome to the Law TV, your number one fantastic reality TV that gives you all that it takes to be enlightened on trending news such as politics, entertainment, sports, and what have you. If you are new on this channel, kindly click on the subscribe button as well as the already subscribed. So please don't forget to drop your comments anytime I drop new videos. Thank you. Ciao, ciao. News of the day. Obasonjo probed by EFCC of 16 billion naira embezzlement. The Economic and Financial Crime Commission (EFCC) has begun the probe of the $16 billion power project of the administration of former President Olusegun Obasanjo. There had been conflicting figures on the exact cost of the project, as some people put it at $16 billion while others say it is $13.8 billion. It was gathered last night that the anti-graft agency may arrest key contractors involved in the power project scam, which extended beyond the Obasanjo administration into those of former President Umaru Yar'Adua and Goodluck Jonathan. It was also learned that about 18 top former and serving public officers, including 2 ex-ministers, may be questioned to be interrogated by the EFCC as some top officials of the Central Bank of Nigeria and CBN. Preliminary investigation revealed that Roxon Engineering Limited got a check of the contracts worth about $2 billion. The findings revealed that the transaction involving the firms implicated in the power contract were characterized by absence of due diligence. A reliable source in the Anti-Graft Commission said a team of thieves had been put in place to interrogate the people involved in the scam. The source said the operatives of the EFCC have launched a massive investigation into the alleged $16 billion power scam between 2006 and 2011, just as concerted efforts are being made to recover the humongous funds allegedly diverted into private pockets by different firms involved in the power project. The whole power project is $16 billion and anchored on generation, transmission, and distribution. The project is being handled by the Niger Delta Power Holding Company (NDPHC). It is instructive to note that the NDPHC belongs to the 3 tiers of government, namely the federal government, state, and local governments. Investigators discovered that most of the firms that secured contracts under the power project collected huge sums in naira and dollars, but did not perform up to 30% before abandoning the project. Incidentally, most of the payment took place during the regimes of former President Olusegun Obasanjo, the late President Umaru Yar'Adua, and Goodluck Jonathan. The first amount released from the excess crude account was about $8.3 billion. Another source claimed that some of the contractors will soon be invited by the EFCC for interrogation. The source, team of crack detectives, has been raised by the commission to get to the root of the power deal. Some of the key contractors will soon be quizzed. One of the major contractors, Roxon Engineering Limited, is being allegedly taken over by the Asset Management Cooperative of Nigeria. From documents available to the commission, Roxon got 4 contracts and it received over $2 billion in the following tranches: $180 million, $220 million, $240 million, and $480 million. Roxon also received questionable $11 million and another $150 million. These payments are now under investigation. These huge funds were released to Roxon alone. Investigation further revealed that despite the release of the above to Roxon, the firm was only able to execute 30% of the construction. The firm also claimed that it imported certain materials since 2013 and lying in unnamed ports without clearing. It was also gathered last night that the EFCC will look into alleged lapses by some top officials of the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) The source added, lack of due diligence the transaction, while certain officials of the CBN are under probe over certain regulatory flaws. Instead of opening letters of credit (LOC) in the name of the manufacturers of the equipment for the power project, operatives discovered that the LOC was opened in the name of Roxon. Investigation also revealed that instead of the LOC being put in place, Form M, tangible and specific, the LOC was opened in Form A, intangible like school fees, medical bills, etc. An official in the media unit of the EFCC only said, "We will do everything to recover the huge funds and prosecute indicted officials accordingly." Investigation revealed that the EFCC might also review issues in the report of the House of Representatives Committee. The House actually recommended 18 top former and public officers, including 2 ex-ministers, for investigation by anti-graft agencies, especially EFCC and ICPC. Many salient issues were raised for investigation by the House Committee, which was by Honorable Ndudi Elumelu. The issues raised by the Elumelu Committee were as follows: all NIPP payments were made without following due process. No meaningful progress was made in the execution of power contracts. Officials rushed to pay contractors in full even before engineering design for the project had been completed and approved. NIPP contracts were not only overpriced in comparison with PHCN contracts, they were also wide off the mark. Widespread evidence of systematic overscoping of projects in order to inflate costs both in PHCN and NIPP. NIPP distribution EPC contracts were awarded at cost, averaging about 10 times the norm when compared to PHCN contracts. The Ndudi Elumelu Committee was put in place by the House on January 31, 2008 to look into how much was spent on power projects. In its report, the committee said that about $13.278 billion was spent on power projects between 1999 and 2007. The committee recommended termination of 13 contracts and review of 10 projects. About 15 contracting and consulting companies were asked to be investigated by the appropriate agencies. The report read in parts from the oral and documentary evidence. It was clearly established that the total expenditure in the power sector during the period 1999 to 2007 was 13.278,937,409.94 billion US dollars. In the supplementary budget of the power sector in 2007 being implemented, the expenditure could then have been over 16 billion US dollars, reported by the Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives. There are also unfunded commitments to the tune of 7.265 billion US dollars for NIPP projects. As at May 29, 2007, there is another 1 billion US dollars for PHCN capital projects awarded between 2007, which have been captured in the 2008 Appropriation Act. Additionally, the total commitment of the NNPC and its joint venture partner, of which the federal government through the NNPC has an average of 51% interest toward IPP power plants, gas source development, gas transmission and metering of JV IPPs, PHCN power plants, and the submission of the acting GMD of the NNPC is 7 billion US dollars, out of which about 1.62 billion US dollars has been expensed, leaving outstanding commitments of over 5.5 billion. Federal government will provide about 3 billion US dollars. Recognition of this unfunded commitment would bring the total funded and unfunded federal government of Nigerian expenditure commitments in the power sector to over 24.5 billion US dollars, between 1999 and 2007. From the assessment done during the committee's tour of the project sites, it is safe to conclude that no meaningful progress was made in the execution of power contracts. Thank you for listening to this news. Viewers, please don't forget, your ideas and comment is highly welcomed. Don't forget to leave your comments behind. Click on the subscription button as well as the bell button to receive more updates. Thank you.